All right, so today we're diving deep into the story of Queen Pokou.
Oh, an incredible story.
Absolutely. A legend in West African history.
Yeah.
And our journey, well, it's going to take us from the Ashanti Empire's power struggles all the way to the founding of a new kingdom in Côte d'Ivoire.
Mm-hmm.
We're going off this text called The Epic Tale of Queen Pokou, Mother of the Baoulé people.
Let's do
And
that again.
yeah, let me tell you, it lives up to that epic title.
It really does. Pokou's journey was just unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Her choices, wow, they really show how one person can change history.
It's true. I mean, just wait till we get to that river crossing.
Right.
Talk about sacrifice and resilience, huh?
Absolutely, a moment you won't forget.
No kidding. But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Right.
let's set the scene. It's the 17th century, the Ashanti Empire. They're at their peak.
Powerful force in West Africa.
Exactly. And their system of succession, it was matrilineal,
Mediator.
lineage and inheritance, traced through the mother side.
That's key.
It-
It meant women, they weren't just sidelined in this society.
No.
They held real power, political power.
For sure. Think about it. In a lot of cultures back then, women might advise, maybe influence behind the scenes.
Right.
But in the Ashanti Empire, they were the leaders.
Front and center.
Yes. And Queen Pokou, she wasn't just given power.
No.
She earned that respect, that authority.
People described her how?
Intelligent, a born leader, brought wisdom to every situation.
Yeah, the kind of person, when she spoke, everyone listened.
Exactly. Not because of some title.
But because of who she was.
But, even the strongest leaders,
Right.
they faced challenges.
Oh, for sure.
And Pokou was no different.
What happened?
Well, a major Ashanti king died.
What triggered it?
Yeah, a huge power struggle. And remember that matrilineal succession?
It got messy.
It did. Think of it like a family inheritance where lots of branches all have a claim.
Oh, I see.
And things get complicated fast.
The different groups within the empire,
Exactly.
they saw their chance.
To seize power. And some were willing to fight for it.
And Pokou.
Now, this is where her leadership takes a turn.
Okay.
Instead of getting pulled into this violent fight for the throne, she does something incredible.
What's that?
She decides to lead her followers out of the empire,
Wow.
searching for peace and stability somewhere new.
This wasn't just a small disagreement then.
No, not at all.
She left everything behind.
Everything. Her home, her position.
To go into the unknown.
Yeah, with her people. It really shows what kind of leader she was.
Putting them first.
Above her own power.
Yeah.
That takes guts.
Yeah. So then their exodus begins.
This huge journey across difficult, sometimes dangerous lands.
It must have been grueling.
It was. Constant challenges, navigating new terrain, threats everywhere.
A real test of their resilience.
And their determination. Think about it. To keep going day after day, not knowing what's next.
Facing hardship every step of the way.
But through it all, Pokou, she never wavered.
He was with them.
Every step.
Yeah.
Experiencing the same hardship.
Sharing the burden.
That's what creates strong bonds,
A shared experience.
It builds trust. She wasn't leading from some distant palace.
Right.
She was right there with them. It shows true leadership, don't you think?
Absolutely. Sharing in the struggles, not just the victories.
Exactly. But then, just when you think, how much more can they take? They reach a turning point. Picture this. A raging river, maybe the Como River, it's blocking their path.
That's not just an obstacle.
No, it's life or death.
This river, it's like a symbol,
Of what?
The huge challenges they faced. It was about more than just crossing.
It was about overcoming a force that seemed impossible to beat. And there they were, stuck, no way forward.
So what did they do?
They looked to Pokou, desperate for an answer, so she consults with the spiritual leaders.
Makes sense. It tells us a lot about their culture.
How so?
They believed in a spiritual world, a power beyond themselves.
A power that could control their fate.
Right. Their beliefs, they were a part of everything, even in crisis.
And what those spiritual leaders said?
It wasn't good.
Sent chills down their spines. The river spirits, they demanded a sacrifice.
But not just any sacrifice.
No. Something precious, something that would tear them apart inside.
Wow. This wasn't just about giving a gift.
No.
It was about understanding the cost of survival.
What do you mean?
Well, it made them face a question.
What question?
How far are we willing to go for what we believe in? What will we sacrifice for the greater good?
That's a tough one.
It is. And for Pokou, it became even tougher, much more personal.
Because the sacrifice they demanded.
It was her son.
Her only child.
That's just, wow, heartbreaking.
It is. It goes beyond history,
It really does.
It becomes about human emotion.
Imagine that weight.
Yeah.
The survival of everyone on your shoulders.
And the price.
Your own child, something you can never replace.
It's like the toughest moral choice there is.
And Pokou.
She made a decision.
What a decision.
Heartbreaking, but so powerful. She chose her people.
Their future.
Over her own happiness.
That's leadership that goes beyond, just tactics and planning.
It's about
courage.
Yeah.
Making the impossible choice. The one that it breaks you, but saves everyone else.
Wow. So picture her there on the banks of this raging river.
Holding her son.
Knowing what she has to do.
You can barely imagine it.
And she says goodbye.
Offers her son to the river.
And then...
the impossible happens.
Tell me.
The water's calm. The river parts.
No way.
A path opens up right across.
It's like something out of a myth.
I know, right?
A testament to faith, to the power of sacrifice.
It makes you wonder what forces are really at work.
It does.
But this miracle,
Yeah.
it came at a devastating cost.
As they reach the other side.
Pokou says 3 words.
3 words that will never be forgotten.
Baoulé.
Meaning?
The child is dead.
Those words, born from grief, from sacrifice.
They became the foundation of a new identity.
How so?
Baoulé, it became Baoulé.
The name of her people.
Forever tied to the queen who gave everything. A legacy woven into who they are.
It's amazing how something so sad can become a symbol of strength.
And unity.
And so from this loss, this sacrifice, a new kingdom starts to rise.
Pokou and her people.
The Baoulé.
They settle in what's now central Côte d'Ivoire.
And remember, this is a time when kingdoms were always fighting for power.
Oh, yeah, constantly.
So for Pokou to lead them to safety and build a new kingdom...
that's incredible.
Shows her vision, her strategic mind.
She wasn't just thinking about survival.
No. She wanted to build something lasting, something with meaning.
And she didn't just sit back and watch, did she?
Not at all. She shaped this new society.
Now, this is where we see the true depths of her leadership.
She took the values that got them through, their darkest times, like unity, cooperation, that resilience.
Made them the foundation of the Baoulé kingdom.
It's like she took those hard lessons and made them part of who they were.
She knew true strength doesn't just come from power.
Right.
It comes from the bonds that hold people together.
And that had a real impact.
Oh, yeah.
The Baoulé, they're known for their art, their strong communities, their agriculture.
They carry Pokou's vision with them.
It's a reminder, leadership isn't just about conquering.
It's about cultivating.
But her story, it's bigger than just the Baoulé.
You think so?
Think about it. West Africa, 17th century.
Lots of change happening.
Huge cultural shifts, complex power dynamics.
And Pokou.
Her story, it's like a beacon.
What do you mean?
A symbol of strength and resilience that goes beyond time and place.
Absolutely. People across Africa and beyond connect with her story.
It speaks to those big themes.
Leadership, sacrifice, the human spirit.
She becomes more than just a historical figure,
Right.
An icon, a legend.
Passed down through generations.
And it's important to note, her story isn't just in some book,
Yeah.
It's part of their traditions, their songs, their dances.
It's a living legacy.
Passed down, making sure Queen Pokou's story keeps inspiring.
Amazing how one story can have such a big impact.
It shows the power of storytelling.
How it shapes us, how we understand the world.
It really highlights why we need to remember these stories.
Share them.
Make sure the voices of the past keep guiding us.
So, Queen Pokou,
More than a ruler,
a visionary,
the symbol of hope.
the strengths of the human spirit.
Her story reminds us
Of what?
the importance of community, of sacrifice for those we love, the legacy we leave behind.
Makes you think about our own roles as leaders, right?
In your families, our community.
What sacrifices would we make? How can we be more like her? Courageous, compassionate, resilient.
These deep dives, they always, they really get you thinking.
It's more than just the facts, right?
Yeah, it's like the bigger picture.
How these stories connect to us.
Exactly. Pokou's story, it's not just history.
No, it's like a call to action almost.
How so?
It makes us look at ourselves.
Our values.
Right. How we lead, the impact we have.
It reminds us we can all make a difference.
They can.
Lead with courage, with compassion.
What's a legacy?
Like that ripple effect.
Exactly. One person's actions.
Creating waves that last for generations.
And the power of stories,
Yeah.
Going beyond time, beyond cultures.
It's like Pokou's story, it touches something in all of us.
Something universal.
No matter who we are, where we come from.
It reminds us even when we face terrible loss.
Hope can survive.
And people, we can be so strong.
Courageous, resilient, loving.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Queen Pokou's life,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
How does her story hit you? What lessons do you take from it?
And how can we,
How can we live like her?
mm,
With that leadership, that sacrifice, that hope.
it's something to think about, isn't it?
It is, because each of us, we have that potential
For greatness.
to be courageous, to be compassionate.
And maybe just
Pokou's story, it can be that light.
guiding us to be better, to make a real difference in the world.